Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on mysterious and weird true stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 156, written by That Guy 9426. A forested home that was, and then wasn't. This happened several years ago when my friend and I were in high school. We would always hang out either at his house or mine. We happened to be at his house that day. He lived in a pretty normal suburban neighborhood, with about a mile of woods behind his house separating his neighborhood and another one. We like to go back there and explore the woods every now and then, instead of staying inside and gaming. One of the times we were exploring for a while, kind of just circling the woods. After walking around for about an hour or so, just chatting and messing around, we came across a seemingly random house right in the middle of a big clearing. We'd been in these woods several times before, but never saw this house. We figured we must just have never come this way before. We moved closer to investigate, and the place is basically destroyed. It's a single-story house. There's a big hole in the backside of the house that looks like it was hit by a wrecking ball. We enter from there, and the inside is no different. Old, torn-up furniture, walls, and floors make up the inside. At the time, my friend and I were fascinated more than anything, making theories and jokes to each other about what the history of this strange house could have been. At one point, we thought it might have been owned by some kind of serial killer, because it had several newspapers scattered around with a lot of missing persons reports on them. Again, being dumb kids, we somehow found this more amusing than anything, as if this place had been put there as some sort of haunted house destination for Halloween. Anyway, after further exploration of this house, we found what looked like a hatch on the floor that may have led to some kind of cellar or bomb shelter. It had a lock on it that we couldn't bust open, because as brain-dead teenagers, we wanted to go down there and explore some more. After a few more attempts to get this hatch open, we decided to head back to his house and get some bolt cutters. We get back to his house, grab the tool, and head back to where we came from. We had made our way back in the direction we thought the house to be in, but we never found our way back there. We thought maybe we had just gotten turned around, but we followed a pretty distinctive path back. We spent maybe another couple hours combing that small stretch of woods for the house, to no avail. A little weirded out, but we gave up. Headed back and didn't really give it too much more thought, beyond a couple internet searches for anything that may have been related to a house in the woods in that area, but nothing came up. Years later, my buddy and I are both married. Neither one of our wives believe our story. His wife even got on Google Earth and searched the area behind his old house. She found nothing. Anyone have any theories on what could have happened to the house? Before you ask, no, neither of us did any kind of drugs. We were pretty straight and narrow kids. Case notes, file number 156. You know what vibe I get from this, and other mysterious locations in the woods or mountains. One story I had read where there was a hotel along a less traveled route, very fancy, but the person who decided to stay there woke up in the morning and it had morphed into this decrepit, decaying hotel overnight. I think it's likely the developers of this simulation threw a wrench into our normal everyday experience. It might even be an intentional tactic to guide us along a certain path we need to go down, or maybe that we wanted to when we signed up to play this hardcore MMORPG. That might just be my own bias though. I love that idea. The author briefly responded to my comment, saying, "Yeah, the simulation theory has always intrigued me. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi novel, but maybe we'll get there." And I responded briefly as well, saying, "Have you checked out the newest Unreal 5 engine tech demo? My god, the graphical fidelity in that, and even the ability to dynamically program animations to match with the environments. The amount of scenarios and details that can be programmed in with this is just mind-boggling. So imagine where we'll be in 10 years. I think the idea of the Matrix, or a simulation of that type, minus the robot overlords, I think that's entirely possible, and I think we'll probably see that, or something similar, within the next 50 years, maybe less." Case file number 157, written by Skyrim Babe 23. Her apartment clearly doesn't want her there anymore. The clock just hit midnight, and I don't think I'll be able to sleep tonight with what happened. I'm normally pretty skeptical, but I just feel like this isn't something I can debunk. I need to know what to do to feel more safe, because I think the spirit here isn't friendly. I think it's all related to the apartment I currently live in, because I've never had paranormal stuff happen to me before. Thankfully, I'm moving out in a month. I've been living here for 2 years now. The first red flag. The only thing the previous owners left me was a Ouija board, hidden in our bedroom closet. When I found it, I had bad vibes and had to put it on my balcony so it was outside the place. After that, I felt watched at night and had trouble sleeping. Then things got back to normal until the last few weeks. First, I was all alone doing some cleaning, and the light bulb in my kitchen completely exploded, leaving shattered glass all over the floor. Right after, there was a big bang on my fridge, like someone just hit it. Then, I thought I heard something like a faucet running in my bathroom. I was already scared, so I walked super slowly to it. And then my bedroom door, right next to the bathroom, slammed itself, making an awfully loud sound. I was terrified and went to my mom's house for the rest of the day. I tried to tell myself that the light bulb just shorted out, and maybe a breeze from the open window made that noise. But it wasn't even windy that day. It doesn't make sense. I've had trouble sleeping, random objects found on the floor, and I blamed it on my cat. Until last week, I heard something wiggling an object and throwing it on the floor. I said my cat's name out loud to ground her, before I realized she was right next to me. And then, 2 days ago, my long mirror fell. On my bed, it didn't break. It's a pretty lightweight mirror that I just lean on my bedroom's wall. I found it weird, but also it could have been the wind or something. But what just happened tells me it wasn't a coincidence. I was watching a horror movie for the first time in months tonight. I was really scared. All the lights were off. During the middle of the movie, I saw what looked like a shadow in my living room mirror. I brushed it off because I'm just too anxious. And then, boom. Before the end of the movie, the living room mirror that's been hanging there for 2 years decides to fall off. No open windows, no nothing. I'm surprised it didn't break, honestly. It was a pretty big fall. On top of that, my cat is freaking out and staring at some stuff I don't see. I'm just so uneasy now. I heard mirrors were like portals, so I took the 2 that fell and hid them, facing the floor. I don't have sage to clear out the energy. What do I do to make this thing go away, to be safe? I know I only have a month here left, but still. This is too much to handle. Please help me if you have a tip. Case notes, file number 157. So mirrors are less like portals, more of a revelation tool. They show who the person truly is, a reflection of their soul. But they can also be conduits for souls, channeling them, intensifying them. I'm just glad you'll be out of the apartment soon. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. And leave any thoughts you might have down below. I always like knowing what you guys think too.